And it's funny because I feel like it's in those moments where you see God move, but hold up, let me not get distracted. I really want to talk about when love feels like betrayal, and we're going through John 11. Let me start at verse 3. So the sister sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love, the one you love is sick. When he heard this, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed there. He stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, let us go to Judea. And I really want to talk about this because God, I don't, is it just me? My mind is blown. My mind is blown because I say I love you. I say I have this deep relationship with you. Like, I'm here for you. I'm your everything. I want to be there for you. And then you tell me that you need my help. You tell me that you need my help. And I pick up the phone because I said, yo, I'll be right there. It's an emergency. 911, calling the ambulance. Meet me at the hospital. This is happening. This is happening. You know, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be here. I get the call. I get the notification, but then I just choose to show up late. I read the word, and isn't it crazy that the word says, this is, where are we? This is verse 5. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, you would think that the word would say, so when he heard that Lazarus was sick, you would think that the very next thing you're going to read is, he jumped. He got on a camel. I don't know if they used camels back in the day. He got whatever he got on. You would think that he would just be off to the races. Like, he loved them. He loved them. And what happens next is not what you would expect. What happens next is this. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And you just got to take a moment to process that, because a lot of us think that God's not moving when we can't hear him. A lot of us go through things in life. And a lot of us, I'm just going to say all of us, we go through these moments of pain. We go through these moments of sadness, of hurt, of persecution. We go through these moments where we don't know how to respond to them. We don't know how to respond to them. And we cry out to God, and we lift our voice to God, and we do everything right. We do everything we're supposed to as believers, as Christians. We do it all right, and nothing changes. We do everything that we were supposed to do, and then somehow, some way, it just gets worse. You know what I mean? Lazarus, we prayed for you. We told Jesus, the miracle worker, that you were sick, and yet you still died. And they don't even know that he died because Jesus heard the news and then decided to stay. You know how heartbreaking that is. If I tell you right now that thing that you're going through, God heard you. He's just choosing not to move. You know how devastating that is, especially to your faith. It will crush me. It would crush me. And I'm just thinking about it right now and going through everything that I'm going through personally. I just feel the weight of that. But I'm starting to understand, or I'm trying to understand, that there is a blessing. There is a blessing in the silence. There is a blessing in the wait. There's a blessing in that season of, where are you going to put your trust in? Where are you going to invest yourself in those moments where you don't hear God? What if you're praying the right prayers and you're doing the right thing, but God is just not moving because right now God just doesn't want to move? What if God really just wants to wait 2 more days? What are we going to do? If God wants to wait 2 more days, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to behave during that period? After the 2 days, when it's all said and done and Jesus shows up, what is he showing up to? How's your faith going to be doing? How's your heart going to be? Are you going to be resentful? Are you going to walk away from the faith? What is that time going to produce? And I call this message, or I want to call this just a small segment, when love feels like betrayal, because to me, this sounds like betrayal. If I asked my wife and I told her this is an emergency, this is bad, I gotta go to the hospital, I'm bleeding out, like I'm sick at this, and she chooses to listen to the voice messages and then just not show up for 2 days, how would I feel about that? And you think about how intimate our relationship with God is, and to understand that we serve a God that's willing to make us wait. We have to take the time to understand why he's making us wait. And again, I think that the opportunity, because in verse 4, he says, when he heard this, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. Notice, for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. The opportunity for God's glory, the opportunity for God to move has to come in those 2 days. It has to come in those moments of silence. It has to come when you're feeling like nothing is going to happen. Those are opportunities. Those moments of silence are just opportunities for you to really show your true colors. It's for you to really show your faith, and show your faith through action. Show your faith in whether or not you're going to behave the same way. If you're going to love God the same way, whether he showed up or he didn't. Are you brave enough to love a God that's not just living his life to serve you? Like, the moment you speak, he's there. Are you willing to serve a God that way? Are you willing to love a God that behaves that way?